Well, hello, David McGuffin here. Welcome to Travel Talk Tuesday. Let me come back here. I am back home in Florida in my kitchen here in Middleburg. It is May the 16th, 2023, and I'm home for a week. So I had to do Travel Talk Tuesday and reconnect with everyone and share a little bit about my travels that I've been on the past, 2 months or so. My topic tonight is the Amalfi and Islands Tour that I do every April, the first part of April, and 6 or 7 weeks ago, the first part of April of 2023. And that's my topic tonight that I'm going to talk to you about. But since then, I've been all over the place. We've done a villa tour in outside of Volterra, Tuscany, Italy. I've been to London and Paris tour. That we've just completed and came home from last week, and a few things in between as well. So I'm happy to be home, change out my spring and winter clothes for my summer clothes, and we're heading back tomorrow to a short vacation for Charlotte and I for about a week. We're going to do something totally different, and that's go on a safari down in Africa. And so I'll be sharing a little bit about that with you as well in a future Travel Talk Tuesday. And then we've got a full slate of tours between now and July in Ireland, London, Paris, Italy. In fact, there's an Italy tour going on right now with the Ilaria, who's leading a tour down the Best of Italy tour. But we've got a lot going on. But I've got quite a bit to share with you tonight, so I'm going to let this thing begin running and talk through our Amalfi and Island tour that we just did. Yeah, we're a little rusty here on there we go. I think I'm here. Our Amalfi Island tour that we completed in April. We were there actually over the Easter holiday season. So we were there gosh, we showed up on Thursday.
We're heading to the island of Ischia. This is going to be our home away from home
for a minute
for the next 4 evenings. Hope you enjoyed this look around the Amalfi Coast and the Bay of Naples and the island of Ischia, Capri, and Crocida. Hey, your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe.
This is leaving the harbor on the mainland near Naples. That's Naples in the background there. And we are heading to Ischia. This is our hotel in Ischia. It's called the Tritone or the Triton Hotel. Beautiful place, the bar, restaurant down one level below. This is a shot of our room. Out the window is the seaside. Here it is from looking down at the resort hotel there. Beaches, when it's nice in the summer, are beautiful. This is a shot of our bathroom, just so you can see a beam me up Scotty shower and the bidet and toilet as well. Here's another shot of this is another hotel room. This is the one we were in this past April. This is some of my group here at dinner the first night. You know, we were all jet lagged and everything coming in, but we have beautiful sunsets at this hotel right there looking to the west. This is our first meeting, and this is outside in the gardens of our Hotel Tritone as well. Beautiful lands, beautiful places. The hotel staff's wonderful, and it's a spa, a resort. And so the whole island is a thermal island situated on an extinct volcano. And so there are thermal baths all over the place. And here's one in our hotel that a lot of people avail themselves to go to every day. And the water's probably around 100 degrees or something like that. And it just feels wonderful after you've been walking around the entire day. And a lot of people go hiking and everything else. But the spa's right there at the hotel. And it's just, again, a great place to experience, to slow down and relax. These are three of the ladies on the tour that I think they went in every night. This is day 2. We went to the island of Procida. It's about 30 minutes just from our island. And it was a wonderful island. It was a 2022 Island of Culture for all of Europe. And we had a local guide here that showed us around this time, and we enjoyed getting another locals view of this island. You can see there's not so many people there. It's not really tourist crowded. This was actually on Good Friday afternoon, and they had a procession throughout the town in the morning, and then we arrived and our guide showed up and walked us around. So we got a wonderful view and a wonderful background on this beautiful island of Procida. There are these Renaissance and Baroque churches all over the place, and one around every corner almost. This is a little courtyard that we walked to, that people were just sitting just to my left, people sitting having coffee and everything. It was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You can see the laundry flapping in the breeze. Westward exposure, what is it, 2:15 according to that clock. This girl, our guide, she lived here in this town, so she knew it from a child up to where she is now. So we got such a great historical perspective of it and cultural perspective of it as well. Just some of the scenes. This is Corricelli, the most photographed village on the island, as you can see.
Yes, of course.
I had been to this island, this is my 4th time, and it is the first time I've ever been walking to that vantage point. On up higher, if you can only imagine, was an old fortress that belonged in the Middle Ages, was there from the Middle Ages, and then in early part of the 20th century, it was turned into a prison, and it affords fantastic views all over the Bay of Naples. You can see the weather is just clear as a bell. We were very fortunate that day to be able to see all the way over to the mainland and Mount Vesuvius and beyond. This is the group that made it to the top of that hillside fortress. Hey, David McGuffin here. We are in Procida on the small little island here in the Bay of Naples. We've spent about 3 hours looking around this whole island here and had such a great time. Believe it or not, this island is only like 4 kilometers around, and that's about 2.5 miles or so. And there's 11,000 people that live here. And we're looking down at one of the most beautiful ports down below. I hope you enjoy this look around the island of Procida today. Your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe. This is a mural and a collage that were all over the place there, representing that last year's Island of Culture symbol. And of course, every evening ended with the sunset looking to the west. This is Charlotte and I at the Tritone Hotel. We had dinner there together every night. And of course, before dinner, there's always a couple of drinks to precede that. So that my group gathering there. Day 3, we spent on the island of Ischia. It turned a little chilly and rainy on the first part of the day. And this is the little town called Carmicola, and the church that is there as well. We were, I think this was Easter Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. And so before the services even began, we went into the church, which is famous for a blessing of the seafarers. And then we also went by and had a little tasting of the local limoncello, or
how is it, Ronnie?
Alcohol.
What's it taste like?
Sugar.
It's got some liquor, okay.
This is the Aragonese Fortress. just off the coast here. And on the backside of the island, we didn't go down there, but there's a beautiful village down there as well. You can see the wind has picked up quite a bit, and we're up high on the highest promenades of the looking back, that island in the background is the island of Capri. There were some gardens here that were famous by, oh gosh, I should have done my research. The composer, English composer, I want to say Howard Hanson, but that's not it. It'll come to me in a minute. But these gardens were down in a ravine and up on the hillside. They're a wonderful set of gardens that are just have the flora and fauna changes, and it has micro environments where that in the bottom of the ravine, everything is kind of wet and damp, but up high on the hill, beautiful vistas throughout the island and the Bay of Naples as well. The weather finally cleared up when we got here, and so we got to see a great deal. This is Charlotte and I. Boy, I'm gonna have to put some in the notes about this composer, because I should know that, because he actually came to Stetson University and led our choir while I was there way back in the 1980s. We were experimenting with our cameras and focal length and everything with our cameras here. So just a few pictures of the garden. This is the church in the nearby village of Forio, and the three of us, Charlotte and Susan, got off the bus. The rest of them went back to the hotel, but I wanted to experience the town as well. So we popped into this church located on the promenade right at the beach side, and then we walked into the town and found some really good food. Somebody saying, yeah, La Mortella Gardens. And it is William Walton, no wonder. Okay, William Walton, the English composer that has those gardens, and Lady Walton as well. That was some of the best. I didn't have the spaghetti there, but I had the spaghetti and clams. Spaghetti alla vongole was really good. I like this right on the main drag in the town, the International Bar. This was music from some street musicians, some buskers nearby. That's Susan and Charlotte and I. We were the only ones that braved the town and walked back to the hotel. And this is just a little bit of our buffet at the hotel. We have eaten there usually all 4 nights, but for moving forward, I'm changing that up so everybody has an opportunity to go experience some of the restaurants on the island as well. And so we'll eat there 2 nights, and then 2 nights are free to go explore and get your own food. One of the specialties they always tell us on the island of Ischia is rabbit. And I've never had it because you got to order it 2 hours ahead of time for them to catch one and cook it in a pot. So next year we're going to do that. Okay, we are in Ana Capri, the little village of Ana Capri here. And looking back over my shoulder to the island of Ischia, where we're staying, and Procida. Here we're heading up to the top of the mountain here for wonderful views all over the village of Ana Capri and the village of Capri and the whole island of Capri. Charlotte's there in front of me. Diane's in the blue. Here we go. This whole adventure over here to Capri today is, we couldn't have chosen a better day to go. It's maybe not quite 60 degrees, 57 according to my watch, but bright sunny skies, crystal clear water, just wonderful vistas all over the place. So we arrived along about 11 o'clock at the Marina Grande. And we took a
a private bus with our guide Anna Maria up to this village, and the ride from here to there was kind of hairy because there is one particular road that gets here and is cut into the cliff, shaved into the cliff, and it's almost like a one-way street, but there are several pullouts where our bus would pull over and wait for other traffic to pass by and everything. But then we got here to the village of Anacapri. We had lunch, a very nice little place, a set menu price of €15. And I regret that I did not take any video or photos of it, but it was some very good stuff. We had ravioli, spaghetti marinara, and I had a pizza margarita. And all of that was very good, typical of what we would think we would find right here in the region of the Bay of Naples. So it's great. So now we're going up to the lookout, and we'll see what happens up there. Charlotte and I were here some years ago. And spent, I don't know, 5 or 7 nights here on the island. And we enjoyed it all. It was in the middle of the summer, so we spent much time at the beach. And I believe that might have been in 2009, I think is when that was. We were here. So as I go through this for Travel Talk Tuesday and to work on some of the few former trips here, I'm sure I'll dig that up and show you some photos that we took back in 2009 or 2008 as well. 2009.
All right, get it right.
I'm sure I can dig up some photos that we took in 2009 as well.
Obviously, I didn't get to edit this section.
Below are the famous rocks here on the southwest coast of Capri. They're known as the Faro Leoni. Right here, this is the town of Capri, sitting in the saddle of this island. And then looking down in this region is what we know as the Amalfi Coast, with the towns of Positano, Amalfi, Ravallo, and others as we go all the way down. And on beyond that, if you can see, here is Salerno, the Bay of Salerno. A little 360-degree spin, just so you can see.
One of the cool things about this tour that I have is we're 4 nights there on that island at Ischia. So we'll unpack one time. Then we do those day trips to Capri, Procida, and on Ischia as well. And it is just a wonderful experience coming back every night up in the hot springs or in the crispy cold pool outside. It is wonderful. And of course, there's a couple of villages nearby as well.
Going to the side?
Yeah. So this is going up one of those windy roads. This is the bus we're on. All of the buses are the same size in Capri, and we're passing. They don't care. They do it. The drivers are just professionals. For all of us, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is looking down from one of those roads, I believe. So that's looking to the peninsula where Sorrento and the Amalfi Coast was on. Again, looking down to the harbor in Capri. That's where our boat arrived and where we're heading back down to. Again, out here is the peninsula where Sorrento is right there. And that's Sorrento back there above Charlotte and I's head. And you can always see this is a calzone we had for there on Capri as well, and a pizza. You know, those pizzas that are right there in the Bay of Naples are supposedly the best ever. That's the taxi. Now, there's a whole lot of rich and famous people that end up in Capri, and they have a lot more money to spend than we do on the people than we do, Charlotte and I, that we travel. But we enjoyed immersing ourselves in that. But you can see that there's a mix of people. Was some tour groups there. This was probably the most crowded destination we were at as far as tourists are concerned, and tour groups coming into the town. There were several cruise ships that day in Capri that just flooded the streets at certain times. And we were trying to go the wrong way at one point, and we really did feel like salmon swimming up a stream. Just some of the shops.
The blue shop.
I always say, linen looks great in the shop, but you wear it for 5 minutes and it's wrinkled. And if you wash it, you never can wear it again unless you pay someone to iron it for you. This is just a little map of here was a garden back on it's actually kind of the south side of the island. Looking back toward those rocks. But you can see weather is perfect.
Well, I guess he's camouflaged.
The City Hall in Capri. This is the main square. It's called the Piazzetta, the small little piazza. This is where everybody goes to hang out in the sun. You buy a drink there or coffee there, and it's €12. Why it's nice to take a day trip and then go back to the other island where you can get the same thing. 3 o'clock. That clock there is they now are making the watches called the Capri watches that have that clock as their symbol on the face of it, and a couple of people bought them, and they were upwards to €2,000. Again, sunset from our hotel.
Hey, David McGuffin here. We have just finished the first 4 days of our Amalfi and Islands tour, and we are departing the island of Ischia. We've had a great time here because we were one day all the way around the island of Ischia on a private tour, one day to the island of Procida for a whole day private tour, and then one day to Capri for a whole day private tour as well. So we've seen a lot of the islands here in the Bay of Naples. Today we're leaving Ischia and heading back to the mainland, to Naples, and we will be in Sorrento for 3 nights and checking out the Amalfi Coast, Pompeii, Naples, and some other areas. Hey, you ought to consider coming on one of my Best of the Amalfi and Islands Tour next year. We'd love to have you travel around. Your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring
Okay, I'm
Europe.
gonna stop it there for just a second because I told you on some of my promos today that I gave you a special offer. We've got people already signed up for this tour in April of 2024. I believe it begins on the 7th of April, if I'm not mistaken. And it's Easter falls early next year, so it's a couple of weeks or so after Easter. And but it is the first few weeks of the opening season for all the resorts and everything on these islands. And so I invite you to join in and come be a part of that with us. We've just updated our website for this tour and done a couple of things that we experimented with this year. First of all, we take care of the public or the bus transportation from the airport in Rome down to the port in Ischia and on the way back as well. And then we stay in Rome one night as well at the end of the tour on the 8th day of the tour. We visit the Colosseum and have a grand farewell dinner there. It makes things a lot easier, a lot So we were 4 days in Ischia, 3 days in Sorrento, 1 night in Rome, and then you fly home out of Rome on day 9 of that tour. We just put it up and updated all that. I also opened it up a little bit to give you a little more free time, because we like to have about 40% or 30 to 40% of the time on our tours left for you to experience some of the things on your own or with your travel partner. And so we've kind of opened it up with that and left a couple of nights free to go out to dinner, eat some rabbit in Ischia, or go somewhere else besides the restaurants there at the hotel, which we enjoy and are good as well. So the price on the internet, well, on my website now, I think is 37 something, 37.49 or 89. And I'm not putting this down and writing it anywhere, but I'm saying it on the video tonight that if you happen to sign up between now and this time next week, we'll give you a $100 discount on that, and a $100 discount on that tour, along with whatever other tour alumni discounts you have for traveling with us in the past. So think about it. We'd love to go ahead and get it all squared away and get everything going. We've got the rooms reserved and we're ready to go next April 7th, 2024 for the Ischia and Islands Tour. $100 discount between now and next week.
This place, anyway, was a kind of foyer.
I didn't even film because we ended up in Naples on the Monday after Easter, called Easter Monday. And everybody in Naples, all 7 million inhabitants, showed up in the center of town that day. And it was a severe traffic jam with cars and people. And our bus, we were an hour and a half late getting into the restaurant where we usually just walk right in and they make authentic Neapolitan pizza for us. We were an hour and a half late because all of the traffic in town. We got in and we got seated, not as a group, but we got seated. We had some really good pizza and got out of town. And then we go to Pompeii. And Pompeii is the city that in 70 AD was immersed in the ash from the erupting nearby Mount Vesuvius, which is you'll see as well. So here we are, just a little bit of Pompeii.
We didn't invent anything. I'll show you until the end of our tour. We didn't invent anything.
That's Mount Vesuvius loop in the background.
Usually the spectators.
You can see the tops blown off.
Would come just to have a shelter in case of and red and
What basically happened here is that everything from that lady's head down was covered in ash and very well preserved.
Under 3 feet of ash. Imagine always above all the buildings we can see all around. And south. Oh, yeah, watch out because it's very slippery. It's very slippery. And have a look in Pompeii. Everywhere we have this kind of streets, they go downhill, like in this case. And then at the bottom of the row of the streets, some big stones. Big stone. Here, crosswalk.
So you see right there.
To cross the road. Why? Because in Pompeii,
Stepping stones, so the roads are filled up with
in case of rain,
stuff,
can you imagine,
sewage and everything else. So the stepping stones help you get across it.
Dirty. So
And the chariots. Do you see the chariots?
Down to the ocean. A big heart.
And
And it means the owner is
Oh,
very rich
wow.
because the artist must be paid. This is a typical characteristic.
the
of
floor
Wembley
floor
House.
mosaic still totally intact.
Have a look at the layout with the improvement and the garden behind with the panoramic view. The Wealthy House. This one was a
And this is our group. Actually, this group was from in 2022.
After the curve on the right
We go to
side,
Sorrento,
you
and
can see a
then on the
rock
next
at
day,
the sea
we
level
visit
over
the
there.
total Amalfi
It has a
Coast.
strange shape, like a profile of a man. Can you see it? Yeah. If you drink a little bit of limoncello, you can see 2 of them. It's a profile of a man and seems like Donald Trump.
Charlotte and I in the villa of Positano, in the village of Positano. This is the beach. We had to hike down quite a bit to get to the beach. It's one of the most visited villages of all the Amalfi Coast. There's a couple of ladies that the local vendor on the side of the road was entertaining to try to get them to buy some juice and other souvenirs. This is the Amalfi Coast Drive, so just so you can see. If you have a bus, you have to go in this direction only, which is towards the south. And only the locals can go travel to the north, and there's not many of them that are silly enough to do that. That's this is a gentleman on the side of the road making fresh juice. He's a rock star on that road. Got a lot of followers on Instagram, and every tour guide pulls in, and we all spend money. And I'm sure at the end of the day, the tour guide gets a few euro from the vendor here as well. But the view is beautiful. The juice tastes great. And the guy is a Casanova.
Me and my favorite. I should be in the lower one. Can you get them both? Yeah. Let me get you.
You got a, it looks like you have an orange sitting on your head.
I got you. It's better.
Repeat travelers, Canton Celeste. Gosh, I don't know how that's all upside down, but it is. Charlotte and I had lunch in Amalfi, and I can't resist spaghetti alla vongole. You like that too, don't you, Leslie? This is a famous church in the Amalfi Town Square. Listen, I like to walk up that street about 100 yards where all the tourists don't go and find a nice, quiet place. And experience the town.
Hey, David McGuffin here. I'm in Amalfi, the town of Amalfi on the Amalfi Coast.
Amalfi, not Amalfi.
It is, gosh, Easter week here. Such a big difference from traveling during the COVID times. A lot of people around, and it's kind of crazy, but it's still a wonderful destination. Charlotte and I were here together finally for once, and we were able to sit down at a little cafe up the way here and have some spaghetti alla vongole, spaghetti with clams, and a couple glasses of wine and whatnot. We had a great time. This is the medieval church right here behind us, and just a little look around Amalfi town. Okay, your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe. Ciao from Amalfi.
We took a little boat to a town called Minori and got back on our bus. And then we went back to Sorrento on the last day. We spent most of the day in the town of Sorrento experiencing that. And that in itself is a story as well. But we're kind of running out of time here on the time length that travels all Tuesday. So that last night, day 7 on the tour, we always go to a farmhouse. And I've been there 3 or 4 times, and we've been to a different farmhouse every time. But they always make this mozzarella cheese. And it's not the buffalo mozzarella. It's made from cow's milk. And but it is fantastic. And here's the local mama showing us how to make the mozzarella cheese.
Believe me that you can't find one buffalo in all Sorrento. These are water buffaloes. They need spaces. We don't have the space. Remember tutti frutti. Yeah? So these animals live not far from here. They are close to Naples by Caserta. It's a little bit more north, or at the end of the Amalfi Coast. Yeah, but there's now a second reason why she had to boil it up. She used it again. She mixed the whey again in the curd, so that now the curd changed the consistency. You will see in a few minutes it looks like a dough, soft and elastic. And this is naturally the old way here to show you. Wow. In the past, every farmer lady did this in this way, but now it's rare to find ladies like Marie and a farm who spend the time to make a cheese. Too much time, it takes 4 or 5 hours. And it's not more so rare to find itself. You find a mozzarella everywhere. You find it most in the round shape like a bowl, filled in the bag with the liquid. But this is very normal. She doesn't like it and she doesn't make it. Maddie, you have different shapes here for different uses.
There she is saying cheese for the camera with her cheese. And this is our dinner that we had, a wonderful antipasti platter with the mozzarella cheese, cold cuts and everything. And we had a wonderful dinner. All the wine, the local wine is from their vineyards. And so these are some of the folks, Susan and her mom, Miss McInerney, our longtime most traveled alumni with Exploring Europe. Kathy Spillman there and Lindsay. Hey, David McGuffin here, our last day, or morning I should say, in the Amalfi Coast region. We are in Sorrento, looking back toward Naples and Mount Vesuvius there behind us. We've just finished up 4 wonderful days on the island of Ischia, and then come over here to the Bay of Naples and Sorrento for 3 more nights. We're heading on the bus and heading up to Rome for our last evening together on my Amalfi and Islands Tour. As you can see, the weather is beautiful. It has cooperated every day. And we are in mid-April here, which is a great time to travel. Temperatures have been, around 60 degrees Fahrenheit for the high, maybe 60 to 65, and not much lower than that either. So a great time to travel. So if you're thinking about coming to the Amalfi region or the Bay of Naples, you should do it with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe on our Amalfi and Islands Tour. We do this every year in April. So until I see you again, your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe. Then we traveled up the country to Rome, about 3 hours. We set up in a hotel right near the main train station and this structure called the Colosseum. And we visited that. And then we had dinner that night and the tour was over. But we just have a great time, and adding Rome into that, you just have to. You can't go to Italy without going to Rome. It's becoming one of my most favorite. David McGuffin here, middle of April. You can tell I'm at the Colosseum in Rome. I'm in my puffy jacket and all the clothes that I have on. It's just kind of damp here, and about 50, mid-50s or whatnot. I know I'm going to be wanting this video when I show up here in July and I'm sweating in another way. But gosh, the construction's going on here all over the place. The Colosseum is full of people. It was difficult to get in, and even though we had bookings and the crowds were there, tourism is definitely back, and especially with this work going on around the Colosseum with the new metro line, makes it even more challenging to get in. If you're looking for something, I've got an audio guided tour that I've just produced at the Colosseum. You can find it at davidmcguffin.com and look up Rome Colosseum Audio Destination Guide. Hey, your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe. And with that, I think we end up Travel Talk Tuesday for another week. Again, May 16, 2023. Don't forget that special that I advertised earlier in the show, in the middle of the show, for the next week. If you sign up for the April 7th tour to the Amalfi 2024, $100 off of that, on top of every other discount you get as an alumni or whatever else. So please think about that. We're filling fast and got a few extra seats left. We'd love to have you join us next year. Well, I'm off until the middle of July, and so we won't have another Travel Talk Tuesday until somewhere mid-July. It's on the website. You can look at it and see, and I think I want to recap everything I've done so far this year. But thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Thank you for your comments and sticking with me for the 45 minutes that I've been on here. Okay, until next time, your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe. See you later.